Bulbasaur's journey. From seedling to powerful guardian of the forest, the sun rose over a dense, verdant forest. Its soft golden rays filtered through the thick canopy, casting a warm, gentle glow upon the forest floor. Birds were singing from the tall trees, their cheerful songs blending with the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. Amid the towering trees, a small, delicate shoot emerged from the earth, a humble beginning to an extraordinary journey. This was Bulbasaur, a young Pokémon just beginning its life in the wild. With a small bulb growing on its back, it was only a seedling, still fragile, still untested. But this was the first step in its transformation from a tiny sprout to one of the most powerful guardians of the forest. Bulbasaur's world was small in the beginning. The forest around it was vast and full of life. But for now, the young Pokémon was content within its immediate surroundings. The bulb on its back was still tiny, merely a promise of the power it would one day possess. Bulbasaur spent its early days exploring, moving cautiously through the dense underbrush. Searching for food and trying to understand the rhythms of its new home, its small legs carried it swiftly between patches of tall grass, its bright, wide eyes always alert to potential danger. The forest was teeming with life, each corner holding new wonders and challenges. Yet Bulbasaur could not yet comprehend the role it would one day play in this ecosystem. The forest was a place of beauty, but also one full of risks. It was a habitat where survival was a daily challenge. As a grass-type Pokémon, however, Bulbasaur was uniquely equipped to thrive in this environment. It learned to use its natural connection with the earth, drawing strength from the sunlight that filtered through the trees. Bulbasaur could absorb sunlight through the leaves on its back and use it to fuel its growth, an ability crucial for its survival. The small bulb that sat atop its back was not just an ornament, it was a source of power. With time, Bulbasaur would learn to harness this energy and become a true force of nature. One morning, as Bulbasaur ventured deeper into the forest, it encountered its first real test. A wild Pidgey, swift and agile, swooped down from a tree and flew low across the ground. Its sharp beak was ready to strike, and its wings flapped with precision. Bulbasaur froze for a moment, unsure of what to do. The bird was fast, but Bulbasaur instinctively turned toward the ground, aligning its body with the earth beneath its feet. Its bulb began to glow softly, and a wave of energy coursed through its roots, connecting it to the very heart of the forest. In an instant, Bulbasaur summoned the full power of its grass-type abilities. Vines shot up from the ground around it, coiling and twisting with remarkable speed, like snakes that sprang from the earth itself. The vines quickly wrapped around the Pidgey, trapping it in their grasp. The bird struggled against the force of nature, but it was no match for Bulbasaur's newfound strength. The vines held tightly until the bird gave up its resistance, at which point Bulbasaur released it, allowing it to fly away unharmed. It was the first true sign that Bulbasaur was beginning to tap into its potential. As the days passed, Bulbasaur continued to grow, both physically and mentally. It began to understand its abilities more deeply. The forest, with its endless flora and fauna, became a school for the young Pokémon. Bulbasaur learned to control the vines that emerged from the earth, using them to climb trees, grab food from places that would have been otherwise unreachable, and defend itself from predators. It began to recognize that it was not just a part of the forest, but that the forest itself was a part of it. Bulbasaur's connection to nature deepened with each passing day, and it realized that its future was intertwined with the health and balance of the forest around it. Months went by, and Bulbasaur grew stronger. The bulb on its back began to swell, and its leaves turned a more vibrant shade of green. The once small and timid Pokémon had transformed into a more confident creature, capable of commanding the very forces of nature. The forest had become its home, and in return, Bulbasaur had become its protector. It was no longer just a passive observer of its environment, it was an active participant, shaping and influencing the balance of life within the forest. One day, a powerful storm rolled in. Dark clouds gathered in the sky, casting the forest in an eerie twilight. The wind howled through the trees, shaking the leaves from their branches, and the forest trembled as the storm threatened to uproot everything in its path. Bulbasaur stood firm against the encroaching tempest, its roots deeply planted in the earth. The wind whipped around it, but it did not flinch. Instead, it drew upon the energy of the earth below, channeling the natural forces within to calm the storm. With the wind howling and the rain beginning to pour, Bulbasaur raised its head high, its bulb glowing with an intense green light. As the energy surged through its body, the wind began to slow, the trees bending but not breaking. Bulbasaur's power, drawn from the earth itself, spread throughout the forest, and with a final surge of energy, the storm was quelled. The rain ceased, and the winds died down. The forest, which had been on the brink of destruction, was now safe. Bulbasaur had not only survived the storm, but it had also saved the forest from its wrath. The young Pokémon's connection to nature had grown so strong that it could now control the elements themselves. However, with such power came great responsibility. Bulbasaur understood that its strength was not for its own protection alone. It was now its duty to protect the forest and all the creatures within it. The smaller Pokémon looked up to Bulbasaur for guidance, and even the larger, more dangerous predators respected its role as a guardian. The forest had become a sanctuary under its watch, and Bulbasaur knew that it would have to face many more challenges in the future. But it also knew it was ready. It had grown from a fragile seedling into a powerful protector, and it would continue to defend the forest for as long as it needed. As the seasons changed, Bulbasaur continued to evolve. It wasn't just the bulb on its back that grew, it was its strength, wisdom, and understanding of the forest. The once small Pokémon had become a force to be reckoned with, its abilities now reaching new heights. The bulb had blossomed into a large, beautiful flower, and with it, Bulbasaur had gained new abilities, including the power to heal the land and encourage the growth of plants. It could now nurture the forest, ensuring that the balance of life was maintained and that the ecosystem would continue to thrive. One fateful day, a new challenge arose. A fire had broken out in the forest, its flames spreading quickly and threatening to engulf everything in their path. Bulbasaur knew that it had to act fast. Drawing upon its grass-type abilities, it summoned the force of nature once again. Vines sprang up from the ground, wrapping around the fire, pulling it into the earth. The fire fought back, but Bulbasaur's connection to the land was too strong. Slowly but surely, the fire was contained, and the forest was saved just in time. Bulbasaur had proven once again that its strength was not just for itself, but for the protection of the forest and all that lived within it. As the fire burned out, Bulbasaur stood tall in the aftermath, watching as the forest began to recover. It knew that this was just one of many trials it would face as the guardian of the forest, but it was no longer the small, timid Pokémon it had once been. It had become a powerful force of nature, capable of protecting the forest and all the life within it. Bulbasaur had grown into the guardian it was always meant to be. In the years to come, Bulbasaur would continue to protect the forest, its bond with nature growing ever stronger. It had learned that true strength did not come from power alone, but from its deep connection to the world around it. The forest, alive with the beauty of nature, was its home, and it was Bulbasaur's duty to defend it. And so, the story of Bulbasaur, the powerful guardian of the forest, continues reminding us all that with the right care and respect for the world around us, we too can grow into something strong and powerful.
Its bond with the forest becomes unbreakable, its powers growing stronger every day. Bulbasaur's journey is just beginning, as it continues to grow and protect the forest.
The forest's most powerful guardian has arrived.